Welcome to Everything Co-op, bringing you information on how cooperatives can help improve your quality of life. This show is being sponsored by the National Co-op Bank, NCB. The NCB is dedicated to strengthening communities nationwide for the delivery of banking and financial services for the nation's cooperatives, their members, and other socially responsible organizations. For more information on the power of community ownership, visit ncb.coop. That's ncb.coop. Now stay tuned for your host, Vernon Oakes.
Hi, this is Vernon Oakes, and we're on the mall in D.C. This is Co-op Festival on the mall, and we're here with Kevin McClinton, who is with Riceland. Hi, Kevin.
Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Are you having fun out here in the mall?
We're having a great time on the mall. We've had a lot of foot traffic today. We're educating a lot of people about rice and the habitat we create for a lot of water birds out there.
What does birds have to do with rice?
We see growing rice is in an aquatic habitat. So there's a lot of birds, a lot of ducks, a lot of water birds that love that habitat. So we're producing rice to feed people here in the United States and around the world. But after we're finished producing rice, we turn it over to ducks and we let them have the rest.
Okay. So Riceland is a cooperative?
We are cooperative. Riceland was formed in 1921. We are a marketing and processing cooperative. So our farmer owners who own the cooperative, they grow the rice on independent farms, and then they bring the rice to us, and we process the rice, package it, and market it here domestically and all over the world.
So in my definition, I call you a marketing cooperative. You are the ones that the farmers come in and they own Riceland. So all of the farmers own Riceland as a form of a cooperative, and then you all process it and market it. And therefore, the farmers can get more markets and hopefully a better price. Is that right?
That's exactly right. What we're doing is we're trying to keep our cost as low as possible. So we're milling the rice, we're storing the rice for the farmers, and then we're packaging that rice and we're moving it into the market. So what we're trying to do is keep our cost as low as possible, and then we're returning all of those profits back to the farmer.
How do you return the profits back to the farmer?
You see, the farmers own the company. So there's no shareholder to give it to. There's no dividend to pay out to shareholders. They are the owners, so they get all the money back.
Okay, so I guess in one way, then they own the stock. And they are, in fact, the owners are the members. They are the stockholders, and when there's a dividend, they get it.
That's exactly right. It's all returned back to the farmer.
That's one of the reasons I love co-ops, by the way.
You bet. You bet. Us too.
On this program, we've been in existence now for 5 years, and one of the questions I ask people is, do they like what they do? So do you like what you do, and why?
I really do. I love what I do. Working for farmers, I like to say farmers are the salt of the earth. It's some of the best people out there in the country. So love working for farmers, love trying to build a family farm business, which is a cooperative. So we just really love the cooperative model. It really works for us.
What causes it to work for you guys?
I think because we're working for farmers, that means all of our board members are farmers. So we've got men and women that are coming off of the farm, coming into the boardroom and making decisions about the business. So they're more in tune, more in touch with what's going on the farm. So they're going to make the best decisions for the cooperative.
Okay. So you get a chance to work with farmers, to help farmers. That's why you love this business. And then you get a chance to interact with them, and they make the decisions on what this business will do to help them. And if they deal with Principle 6, what they will do to help our communities and social responsibility.
That's exactly right. You know, farmers in the communities where we live, agriculture is the driver of the economy. So when farmers do well, the hospitals do well, the schools do well, and all the businesses that support agriculture do well. So agriculture is the heart of the community, which means the co-op is the heart of the community.
All right. We're out here on the mall in D.C. looking at the Capitol. It's green. It's pretty. There's a lot of people out here. And you've been having fun with these people.
We have seen people, I think, from every nation on the globe today. We're educating people about rice today. People are learning that brown rice and white rice are really the same rice. It's just processed a little further. And we're also getting to educate them about the wildlife habitat that we're making on the farm.
Well, I just tasted your rice and cheese with broccoli in it, and it was great. It tastes really, really good.
Right. We've got a lot of mixes. A lot of people just like regular rice, but rice you can add a lot of spices and flavor to it and come up with anything you want. So we try to put something out there for everyone.
Okay. I always thought that rice was in China somewhere where people are stomping around in the rice farms. I didn't know, in Arkansas? That's where you all are based?
That's right. Over 50% of the crop that's grown in the United States is grown in Arkansas. So you have 6 major rice-producing states. You have Arkansas, California, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Missouri. And those 6 states produce over 99% of the rice here in the United States. But Arkansas is the big one. It grows 50% of the crop.
So we produce our own rice here. 99% of the rice that's eaten, consumed in the U.S. is produced in the U.S.?
About 85% of all the rice that is consumed in the United States is grown in the United States. There are some rice from other countries coming in, from Thailand and India, which would be some aromatic rice, jasmine, basmati. But 85% of all the rice consumed in the United States is grown, processed, and packaged right here in the United States.
Okay, now, being in a co-op, rice land, the farmers in a co-op, do they have a say at what price they sell you the rice for? So do they do that?
Well, rice is just like many other commodities. Obviously, there's a commodity market. Prices moves up and down based on supply and demand. We only, in the United States, we only produce about 1.5% of the world's rice crop, okay? So we don't really dictate the world price. So we have to look at prices from all over the globe, and that impacts the rice price here in the United States.
But is there any benefit for that farmer in pricing by being a member of Riceland, that they don't end up starving if the rice price of the commodity in the world goes down?
Yeah, the great thing about being a member of a cooperative is we have other businesses that create value added, all right? So if you're not a member of a co-op and you're selling your rice, let's say, to a major exporter, once you sell that rice and you get paid, you're finished, right? But if you sell it to a co-op, especially selling rice at the retail level, you get the commodity price, but then you also get that additional margin that's made at the grocery store shelf. Because again, you're the owner, you get the profit, right? So it comes back to you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the first principle of cooperative says that the co-op is open to all people, no matter gender, race, whatever, just open. Is that the way Riceland works also?
That's exactly the way we are. We're called an open co-op. So anyone who wants to come, market their rice through Riceland, all they have to do is come, sign an agreement, and they're a member.
So is it one member, one vote?
It definitely is a council. It's the way we have the state split up into councils. So the councils elect the board. We have a 25-member board. So the local councils, they elect the board member that they send to Riceland, to the Riceland board.
Okay. So you're having fun, making money. The farmers are the ones that really tell you what to do and how to do it by electing this board through the councils. Okay, any other thing that Riceland sort of stands out that really, really functions well in the marketplace?
I think the best thing that we deliver on, obviously, is innovation in new products. We've got a whole list of products over here that we're trying to show people today. We're trying to use rice in new ways. We're actually, when we mill rice, we're milling the bran off of the rice. There's oil in that rice. So we're actually extracting oil from rice bran. And rice bran oil can be used for frying food. It's non-allergenic. It's got a very high smoke point. So a lot of restaurants are switching over to rice bran oil as maybe children come in with peanut allergies or vegetable oil allergies. They're frying food in rice bran oil because they know it's safe. There's no allergies.
Well, that's new to me. That's fantastic. Okay. And you say a high smoke
point. That's right.
So that means you can put more flame to it without it burning or losing its elasticity or whatever it is?
That's exactly right. You can fry food at 475, 490 degrees. and it won't smoke. And what that does, that means the food comes out really crispy and not oily. And also, the oil has a long life. You can use it over and over and over, and it still has the same qualities.
So you don't get that old burnt taste or smell from the oil.
That's exactly right. It stays fresh.
Well, looking out here on this mall, there's a lot of people. I'm going to let you get back to having fun, and I want to thank you very much, Kevin, from Riceland and Arkansas. I want to say Arkansas.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here.
All right. Thank you. So we're back here on the mall. We're sitting around looking at people. There's a lot of people out here. And we can look at the Capitol and the green. It's just a beautiful space. And we ran across Doug O'Brien, the president of NCBA, who's sponsoring this. Doug, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic. We're here at the Co-op Festival on the Mall, the second annual. We've got 34 partners, cooperatives, cooperative associations, telling the story of how cooperatives empower people in their business, empower them in their community. We've got food co-ops here, Cabot is here, Organic Valley, Riceland. We've got housing co-op. We've got worker co-ops across the board. And I got to tell you, Vernon, the thing I probably like best, I mean, beyond it's a beautiful, amazing place. You see the Capitol in the background, the Washington Monument, the Smithsonian Castle. It's the conversations that happen. Because in every one of these 34 partners, we got real cooperators, people who really live the cooperative business model. And then you have thousands of folks, probably most of them, that coming out of the Smithsonian, young families, and they're starting conversations. They're asking about one member, one vote. They're wondering, what is this all about with member benefit and control? And these conversations are happening, and people are having fun. So it's just, we're having a great time.
Great. I am also, for all of those reasons. Young man I just talked with his two young children, 3 and 1. That's what he was talking about, the benefits of being in a co-op and how they can increase their wealth and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a lot of people. I think the way we were able to present it here on the National Mall, on America's Front Yard, they have that conversation, and we make it real accessible. Some great conversations. Some of the purchasing co-ops, we're talking about how, and these are cooperatives of small businesses that come together so they can compete against Walmart and Lowe's, about how the cooperative business model really preserves Main Street and the jobs and the families who own those businesses on hardware or HVAC systems or veterinary. So it's a little bit of everything here, and the conversations are great. People are having fun, and it's the Co-op Festival on the Mall.
All right. And the music is great.
And the
Thank
music
you.
is fantastic.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, thank you.
Keep on walking around having fun.
All right. Thanks
See
a
you.
lot.
We're at the festival on the mall, the Co-op Festival on the Mall. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. We're getting ready to take our first break. We'll be right back. Please don't touch that dial.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOS and 95.9 FM. Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOS and 95.9 FM.
Hi, this is Vernon Oaks, and we're out here on the mall with Cooperative Festival. And we have Mr. Richard Dines, who we're going to talk to from CUNA. And CUNA is?
Credit Union National Association.
And what makes up CUNA?
Well, we're the association of all different types of credit unions. Credit unions from large to small, federally chartered, state chartered, in every state of the union.
Every state?
Every state.
Okay. How many members?
Well, there's about 5,500 credit unions in the country, and about 85% of them belong to CUNA. And they also belong to their state leagues. So there's state credit union leagues and CUNA, and credit unions belong to both. And those credit unions have over 110 million members.
110 million members. Okay, so we probably see a few of these out here in the mall today.
Oh, yeah. In fact, Navy Federal Credit Union, the largest credit union, is here. And there's a bunch of local credit unions that are helping staff our booth.
Okay. Now, I was thinking about the people walking around here would be members of Navy Federal, or I'm a member of NIH, Federal Credit Union.
Absolutely.
So there'll be people around here that are members of credit unions. Why are you out here in the mall?
So we're out here because we are part of the cooperative business community, and we want to represent credit unions and make sure everybody understands that credit unions are cooperatives. We're not-for-profit, member-owned cooperatives, just like farmer co-ops and worker-owned co-ops and food co-ops and housing co-ops, and we want to make sure that people, understand that when they belong to a credit union, they're a member of a cooperative.
And most people don't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know until I started getting in this work.
Right, yeah. Most people don't know that credit unions are cooperatives because, unfortunately, they've got the name credit union, so it doesn't sound like a co-op, but they are indeed cooperatives.
And I joined my first credit union because they had better car loans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's why people generally belong to credit unions, is because we have better rates. We have higher rates on savings, lower rates on loans, and we give a better deal to members of credit unions because we're not for profit, and we return our profits, our surplus, back to the members in terms of better rates and better service.
So I just want to make sure that everybody understands what you're saying. That is, Richard, when somebody comes in to get a loan to buy a computer or a car or even mortgages now, they can normally get a better rate, a lower rate on that loan at a credit union because you're not out for profit.
Exactly. We're not every quarter trying to return the highest return to investors. We're there to provide the best possible service and best rates for our members.
And on the other side, if I put my money into a savings account with my credit union, like anybody else, if they have more money in a savings unit, a CD or other kind of savings, you normally can get a better rate of return from the credit union.
Yep, you will usually get better rates from your credit union because, indeed, all the financial benefits go back to the members. They don't take any money and give it to investors like they do at banks.
And probably that investor at the bank probably don't even live in the community.
Exactly.
Maybe not even live in the U.S., and they take that money, the profits out of the community, perhaps out of the U.S.
Yeah, in a credit union, your money stays in the community, stays in the cooperative that you own.
Richard, are you having fun out here?
I am having a great time. This is terrific. Lots of folks have been coming by and learning about cooperatives, learning about credit unions. It's been a terrific day.
But what are you doing with this money thing? You having kids going there? Because they look like they have fun in there. Yeah. Maybe I wanted to go in there. What are they doing?
So we've got a cash grabbing machine here. One of those machines you sometimes see at, on quiz shows or something like that, where you go in and the money just flies everywhere and you have to grab as much as possible. Unfortunately, it's not real money, though.
Oh, I wanted to get in. That's why the line isn't bigger. Okay, I got it.
That's right. Not real money, but the kids are having a gas doing it, and even some adults are having fun.
Okay. Do you enjoy your work?
I do. I love working for credit unions and making sure that our voices are heard up on Capitol Hill and in state capitals around the country, and making sure that credit unions are able to return as much benefit as possible back to their members as they can.
Okay. In 07-08, in the big recession, Congress came in and made all of these reports you had to make, all of these kinds of things. Okay. And I kind of thought that was unfair to credit unions.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, when the Great Recession happened back in 2008, 2009, Dodd-Frank, the Dodd-Frank Act that passed was really meant to remedy a lot of the problems that were in the financial system. And unfortunately, a lot of those regulations also were put on credit unions, which did not cause the financial collapse. That was all the fault of the big banks. And so we're still trying to roll back some of those regulations, particularly on credit unions and other community financial institutions. And we were successful earlier this year getting one bill passed, S2155, which did that to a certain extent. But we still got a long ways to go to make sure that that the same regulations that are being put on big banks to make sure that they're not bringing down the whole financial system aren't also put to burden small credit unions, which are busy serving their members.
So you have products, loans, mortgages, whatever, that helps your members, and you won't give those loans that the interest rate goes up over time, which then put people in loans that mortgages that they cannot afford in the future. And you know, those banks knew in the future that people could not do those loans.
Exactly. Yeah, the banks were involved in really risky, what were they calling, liar loans and loans with not looking at any kind of documentation. Credit unions have always understood their members, and they will lend to their members based on a personal relationship, because credit unions are owned by their members and they understand who they are, so they know usually if they're going to be a good risk or not. It's not like we're at big banks. They're just out to make as much short-term money as possible and not worry about the consequences later on.
Thank you, Richard. I'm going to let you go back to having fun. Absolutely. There's a little boy took his hat off, getting ready to go in and grab some money.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much, Vernon.
I may have to go in after him. I don't know.
Yeah, grab some money.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
All right. So we're on the mall at the Co-op Festival, brought to us by NCBA. And I have one person walking around with his son.
My family, yeah, my wife. She's with my daughter over there at the exhibit right there, and this is my son. And we're just, out and about in D.C., third, fourth generation Washingtonians. And this is, I guess, a great way to inform D.C. residents of cooperatives. I assume I'm going to check things out just to, see what this is all about.
And what's your name, sir?
Linwood Bunch.
Third generation Washingtonian?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you hear about this?
So we actually were going to the Air Space Museum. My daughter is, she's fascinated with space. And so we were going to go to the Air Space Museum, and so we seen cooperative. Okay. So that stuck out in my mind. Let's see what this is about. Hopefully they got some information that's useful.
Okay, I'm glad you did. How old is your daughter?
So my daughter she'll be 3 in December.
Okay, and your son?
He's 4 months.
Man, it's good to see you out here with your family and learning about co-ops, because co-ops are all about family.
Right.
Now, you said you wanted to know more about co-ops in the district?
Yes. And how a family can go about taking part in that resource. I mean, because that is a definite pathway to middle class, as our mayor always promotes the pathway to middle class. So, we're currently on a cooperative waiting list now, and that's 2nd Northwest on 5th and O. I'm not sure if you...
I know it. So that's a housing co-op you're on a waiting list to get into.
Yes. Okay. Because that is the setup that they have is like unbelievable. It's ownership. If you decide to sell it, if you decide to move on, you can take the funds that you're actually paying as rent, mortgage, whatever, your fees, dues, whatever they want to, categorize, with the verbiage or whatever. I'm trying to take part in that.
All right. Now, there is a group that's called the D.C. Cooperative Stakeholder Group, and it's about halfway down here in front of the Smithsonian.
Okay.
And they have lists of co-ops in the district.
Okay.
So I direct you to take your wife and your kids and go over there, and they have a flyer that will tell you about all of the co-ops. There's not all of the housing co-ops. Okay. And again, I cannot tell you, being a grandfather, I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to see a brother out here with his family.
So this is, I have 2 other children. I just want to let you know I have a son that's 18. He's VTC.
You look like you about 22. So I don't know how you got an 18-year-old.
Thank you. So and I got a 17-year-old as well. They go to Thurgood. Well, my son just graduated from Thurgood over in Southeast Ward 8. He's going to VTC this year, starting college, and then my other son is on par to graduate this year. So we just trying to
And I have a grandson that's in the 9th grade over at Thurgood Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
They looked all over, my daughter and him. They looked all over D.C. to figure out what school might be best for him, and that's what they chose.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Excellent choice.
All right. So head over there to the D.C. Cooperative Stakeholders Group, and we'll keep on walking around. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're at the festival on the mall, the Co-op Festival on the Mall. We're taking our second break. We'll be right back.
Human nature.
We're listening to some great music down here. Wish you were down here to listen. This is Cuba. Please don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Washington, D.C.'s News Talk, 1450 AM WOS and 95.9 FM.